I'm here with Jason Vasquez.
My name is Jason Vasquez. In this video, I'm going to cover 00's first event and some lessons learned. I'm going to unbox some parts from my new sponsor, PCBWay. And lastly, I'm going to get this robot ready for the NHRL April event. Here's a quick best hits montage from 00's first event.
Hold back here. It requires 2 clamps to lock the robot. Yeah,
So its first event went as perfect as I hoped for, and it was ready for the New Year, New Bots event that NHRL normally puts on, except this year was a little bit different. So this means I wouldn't be fighting rookie bots, I'd be fighting some of the best of the best. And not only would I be fighting some of the best robots from across the world, I had to adhere to this new mobility rule that 00 was not even close to passing. In one of my fights in its first event, my opponent couldn't move, and in the first 30 seconds of the fight, I moved less than a foot. In its first event, the frame also cracked a good bit after some big hits, so I knew I had to 3D print it out of TPU rather than the hard nylon carbon fiber. TPU will allow this new frame to bend and take impacts without cracking and causing major failures. So I assembled this new TPU frame and balanced it perfectly. I replaced both bodies and some other broken components, and I got this thing back up and running. I even designed these new feet that only move in one direction and could hopefully allow the torque reaction. You can see here how in one direction it moves pretty smoothly, and then in the other direction the feet kind of buckle up and stop it. I had some very promising results in my first tests, and this thing was actually moving really well after not many changes. How should I feel? And I also went to the hardware store to purchase some wood to try and replicate the floor NHRL has. So Norwalk actually posts what they use for the arena floors and for the paint on the floors. So I tried to replicate this as best I could with some supplies from my local hardware stores. The wood floor threw a major curveball, so 0-0 cannot be controlled at all. It was almost equally as bad to before I designed the feet in the first place. As you can see in these tests, I was getting nowhere. I iterated and I tried to learn how to drive it, but I was getting almost no progress the first few weeks after I got the wood floor. So I did the only thing I could do. I iterated feet, I tested a lot, I iterated some more, and I tested a lot more. It was starting to really stress me out. If I couldn't get this thing moving 48 inches in 48 seconds, I knew I wouldn't be able to fight at Norwalk, and I knew I would let my new sponsor down. So on that note, here's my new sponsor. PCBWay is this really great manufacturer and supplier that doesn't only do PCBs. They have a wide range of services from 3D printing to CNC machining, laser cutting, and even injection molding if you have large volume batches. So when I struck up the sponsorship deal, I still was in the middle of iterating, but I had a good idea of what parts I wanted to order. So I got some base plates, some carbon fiber top plates, some track rings, some wheels, some idlers, and lastly some CNC shafts. They also sent me this pretty cool goodie bag with some rulers and other guides, as well as some pretty sweet PCBWay swag. The top plates and base plates came out perfect, although they were a little bit heavier than I thought. The idlers were actually an old iteration. The wheels were perfect, and the shafts came out really nice with an amazing surface finish. But unfortunately, I toleranced them slightly incorrect, so I'm gonna have to post-process these just the slightest bit. But that's entirely on me, not the sponsor. So I got all these parts, and I knew I had to get this robot together, and I had to get it working well. So I got back to iterating and testing. I installed the new top plates and I only put carbon fiber on one side so I could ensure I knew which side was which when I was controlling it in fights. And counterintuitively, after all the hard work I've done to balance this thing, I had to make it unbalanced. It was a weird last resort that actually got this thing moving better than ever. So by making the disc off balance, I'm actually acting more like a bristle robot than a torque reaction walker. But at this point, I'm gonna do whatever I can to get this thing to adhere to the rules. So here's the first test. This first one is 2 times speed, just so you guys can get an idea of what it looks like. But it could do the course, and it was pretty well controlled. I could turn around on a dime when I had to, and I was able to get all the way back. Here's the real-time test, and I need to get all the way to one end, turn around, and get back in under 48 seconds. This was really exciting as it was happening because I had tested it over 140 times, and this was the first time it was consistently doing what it was intended to. So here's the final product before the Norwalk event. It's TPU now, which is a lot stronger. These blades are actually a little off balance now, which allow it to move a lot better. But it's better than ever. I got both blades with about equal amount of friction, so it's really controllable and it's really easy to make those slight changes in movement. And it's really just working better than ever, so this is it. It's pretty big for a 3-pounder, but it's what I get when I get the weight advantage. So here it is. Another exciting thing about this April event is that my brother Matthew is bringing a half-scale version of our BattleBot Whiplash. He did a really good job with this thing, so I'm excited to see how it does. We've still got some work to do to get the robots ready for the event, but by the time April comes around, we'll be ready.